We're getting a peek behind the curtain. Elijah Moore and Mike LaFleur, the blow up in practice, how this could unlock the Jets' hidden potential.
Jets, 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 Jets!
Welcome to Jets Talk. My name's Ryan. I'll be your pilot. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here before, welcome back. I love having you here. Boys and girls, this is interesting. We're talking a little Elijah Moore, Mike LaFleur blow up mid-season and some expletives that were thrown out. And I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the hidden potential that this whole sort of situation going on with LaFleur and the rest of the team has to unlock some really hidden potential in this team. So let's pull up the article. This is from The Athletic's Zach Rosenblatt. He says his frustration spilled into practice that week. That Thursday, Moore surprised teammates and coaches by blowing up on LaFleur, telling him to go F himself and you suck, according to multiple people who witnessed the interaction. LaFleur and Saleh ultimately decided to send Moore home to cool off. That night, he requested a trade. So back in, middle of October, end of October, Elijah Moore, we're on a 3-game winning streak, requested trade. Jet fans start losing their mind. I'm thoroughly upset at Elijah Moore. I wanted nothing to do with this guy. Fast forward 6 months or 5 months or whatever we're at right now, story totally changes. And Elijah Moore, I'm very excited to have you on this team for next year. But this is a little peek behind the curtain, right? Like, it's amazing how the story kind of changes, and as you learn little bits of information more, as the season goes on, you start to change your opinion on things. And, well, you know, we're knee-jerk, so I'm human. So this is ridiculous. Apparently, players were very not happy with LaFleur. This is Elijah Moore requesting a trade. This is Denzel Mims requesting a trade. Apparently, from what I heard, you'd have 2 reads and then run is what Zach Wilson was told from Mike LaFleur, which I would have thought that's what they should have told him because it seemed like processing was a little bit of a problem there, but maybe the 2 reads and run was the running behind the line of scrimmage, and that's what we were seeing, and we couldn't quite figure that out. I don't know. This isn't really great it's just to see. But from what we hear of the players, they were calling it needlessly complicated, Mike LaFleur's offense. And apparently LaFleur dumbed it down for Zach this year to help him kind of understand it and do that 2 read and then run sort of situation. But it creates an interesting situation that is not unfamiliar for the New York Jets and where we could get some unlocked hidden potential from this whole sort of situation. Not necessarily the go F yourself. Probably not the best thing to do if you're Elijah Moore, especially because it seems like, based on this quote, that it was like in front of all the other teammates at practice, and it was like a very public thing. This was not behind closed doors, aside from like closed doors at practice, but like the whole team wound up seeing this. But how could this unlock new potential going forward? Well, obviously, Elijah Moore, with Corey Davis potentially being a cap casualty, could see a lot more targets next season, and in a new offense, might be utilized a little bit better than he was in LaFleur's offense. Now, Braxton Berrios, another person who could wind up being a cap casualty, maybe Elijah Moore slides into the slot full-time, where a lot of Jet fans kind of feel he should be most comfortable. And it's not just Elijah Moore. We've heard multiple people. Denzel Mims, highly drafted, 2nd-round pick wide receiver, everyone was enthusiastic about. Even after the Adam Gase year, you're like, okay, Denzel Mims, we're ticking up. We're trending up in the right direction. Since LaFleur got here, Mims has basically been a non-factor up until like the whole Elijah Moore thing and Corey Davis getting hurt and whatnot. So maybe you unlock Elijah Moore. Maybe you unlock Denzel Mims. Maybe you have a situation where the offensive line really has not been able to work totally cohesively together. When you're in a zone blocking scheme, you rely on all the guys right next to you and consistency across that offensive line. When the Jets are flipping guys in and out, maybe that offensive line gets a little bit better because you don't have to rely on each and every nuanced move that the guy next to you makes in a different offensive system. Or maybe there's some simpler ways to pick up some different blitz packages or blocking assignments. And then the tight ends. It didn't feel like we used the tight ends that well. It's like as I'm going through all these different processes, I'm thinking we might get more out of Laken Tomlinson. We might get more out of Mekhi Becton. We might get more out of Zach Wilson. We might get more out of Elijah Moore and Denzel Mims. These are offensive players that were all pretty highly drafted that we were having underperform in our current offense. So you bring in a new offensive coordinator, maybe that unlocks that hidden potential. We saw it sort of on the defensive side of the ball last year. We had tons of injuries. For an offseason this past year, yeah, we went out, we got Sauce Gardner in the draft, we got DJ Reed in free agency, we got Whitehead in free agency. But by and large, the Jets got Vinny Curry back. They got Carl Lawson back. They got LaMarcus Joyner back. They got a lot more people back on that defensive line with the influx of additional talent in Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, Quan Alexander, like I said, Sauce Gardner, DJ Reed. Once you infuse a ton of talent onto that side of the ball, you find so much more potential, even in the talent that you already had there. So it's a weird sort of way because it's not from injury that we had issues on the offensive side of the ball, but it's from maybe scheming and not potentially using our players the best way we could have use them in the offense. So maybe the Jets have some unlocked hidden potential here that we don't even have to use draft picks on, and they're already under contract. It's kind of a nice situation when you're trying to reset everything. And who knows, maybe we figure it out with Zach and the rest of the receivers, and everything's just going to be sunshine and rainbows, and we're going to be walking into the playoffs next year, and we're not going to have to worry about anything. Maybe. Who knows? Let me know what your thoughts are down below in the comment section. Do you think Elijah Moore was in the right? Do you think Mike LaFleur was in the right? Who do you think, I don't know, where does it go from here? Do you think there is hidden unlocked potential in the players that we saw under Mike LaFleur? Let me know in the comment section down below. And as always, go Jets.